Hi guys, okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit today about the sabre engaging guards. An engaging guard is a guard position that you use to enter the fight. In other words, to enter distance. So if you look at my other video from last week about entering distance, it's the guard that you use to move into distance that is safe and protected and from which you can launch attacks as well. Okay, so in British sabre fencing, the different sources have different engaging guards that they prefer. For example, Hutton, a very famous treatise from 1889, Cold Steel, prefers an engaging guard in medium. That is, the sword is in the middle, the point is towards the person's face, the elbow is bent and close to your ribs, and it's pointing directly at the opponent like that. It's not covering either the outside or the inside line. For those who don't know, outside line is the line to my back, inside line is the line to my chest. So Hutton is actually quite unusual in this regard, and he's the only British source that I'm aware of that actually teaches the medium guard as an engaging guard, as standard. Roworth's treatise in 1804 mentions the medium guard as an engaging guard, but I'm going to ignore Roworth because it's a bit confusing. It's a bit difficult to understand what his sort of standard engaging guard is. So a typical engaging guard that's used a lot in modern sports sabre and used, for example, in Sir Richard Francis Burton's treatise in 1876 is terse. Okay, so this is protecting the outside line. Again, the arm is in the same position as Hutton's medium, and the point is towards the person's face. But importantly, it's protecting the outside line now. Okay, so you'll notice the front edge of the blade is turned to my outside line. The hilt is turned outwards as well, therefore protecting the outside of my arm and forearm and the back of the hand. And you're protecting and closing that outside line. Okay. The next one to mention is cart. Cart is the exact mirror or reverse of terse, and it protects the inside line, turning the hilt and the edge of the blade to the inside and having the point towards the opponent's face. Cart is not given as the standard engaging guard in any British sabre manual I've so far come across, but it is mentioned in many of them as a possible engaging guard that you can use. And I believe that some French sabre fencing schools of the time taught it as their standard engaging guard. So I think in Britain it was seen as quite a French way of using the sabre. Right, having looked at the arm low guards, the medium, the terse and the cart, we're now going to look at weights engaging guard, which is known as high second. In this, the hilt is to the right hand side, the outside, the hand is level with the shoulder, or actually pointing at the opponent's shoulder, the blade goes forwards and diagonally across your body, and the point points at your opponent's hip, more or less. Okay? And this is very good at occupying a central space, and from which you can easily parry pretty much anything by lifting the hand higher or lower or left to right. Okay? So it's a very good, strong defensive guard, although I would argue it's a little bit more tricky to attack out of than terse or cart or medium are. Okay? And lastly, we should mention the even higher version of what was generally known as a hanging guard, which is simply weights engaging guard, but with the hand even higher. And this is the engaging guard that was preferred by Henry Charles Angelo in his treatise, The Infantry Sword Exercise, which was first published in 1817, and then it was repeatedly republished throughout the 19th century, even as late as the 1870s and 80s. And in this, the hand is very, very high, held high like this. However, by the mid-Victorian period, this was seen as a very old-fashioned engaging guard, and both Hutton and Burton criticise it for being very, very tiring on the deltoid muscles. It is very good in defence, but not so good to attack from, and as mentioned, it's very, very tiring. So those are the main engaging guards seen in British sabre sources, and I'll talk next about how to parry. Cheers.